Like you said, it is a given season. Even though some things weren't necessarily given to us, we still got to give to the people and still get this content, man. The college football playoff bracket has now been finalized. We know who the teams are, who's going against who. Let's run through the matchups really quick. For our first round matchups, we have Ohio State versus Tennessee. Ohio State will be hosting that game. Texas versus Clemson. Penn State versus SMU, and Notre Dame versus Indiana. I mean, if you see how the bracket lays out, Oregon gets the winner out of Tennessee, Ohio State. Arizona State gets the winner out of Texas, Clemson. Boise State gets the winner out of Penn State, SMU, and Georgia gets the winner out of Notre Dame and Indiana. What are your initial thoughts when you see that bracket?
I say the winner of the Texas and Clemson game got a good path ahead of them, honestly. But they said they got what, Arizona State after that. Yeah. They got a great path ahead, man. Not a bad, not too bad. I'm not gonna be a complete hater about it. Me and you, how we both feel about this ranking, but good first round of matchups. I think that next round is gonna be you're gonna see the blowouts there. Specifically looking at Arizona State. Maybe whoever gets Georgia. I don't know. Then Penn State SMU. I think people might think that's gonna be a blowout. I think that's gonna be more of a shootout though. I think that's gonna be the shootout of the weekend next week. I can see that going maybe like a 35-38 type, final score type of game. I really think SMU is gonna go in there and fight, man. They did a good job against Clemson last week, but overall, brother, I think this is good, but this is a good bit of matchups here. I just think the committee need to do a better job with that resume.
Oh no, I absolutely agree. And on top of that, they got to do a better job of rewarding the team that you deem to be the best in college football. Because if I'm looking at Oregon and you've gone all year undefeated, you played tough environments, you've beaten good teams, you've earned this number one spot. The fact that Oregon has to play the winner out of Ohio State and Tennessee, to me, is where the problem lies. And to me, for those who have been in the comment section this past weekend, which is why I said we cannot guarantee buys for conference champions. That cannot be the guarantee because in what world does Arizona State deserve that bye week? They don't. Well, in what world does Boise State deserve a bye week? Looking at their strength of schedule and who they played, they don't. And there's no knock to these teams and what they've accomplished. They deserve to be in the playoff. They deserve to have a chance. I agree. They don't deserve to sit at home for the first week with the resume that they possess. That's my only issue. Like to me, like if I would have been very, very irritated if Clemson had gotten a bye week. Imagine Clemson with what they've done all year, the three losses that they have, losing to quality teams. Like, I mean, mind you, they don't have any quality wins, and they've lost to quality teams. So there's nothing to really say that they're a good team. Like they haven't done anything this year that could make you feel like they're a good football team. Why do they deserve to walk into a bye week? And then, I mean, obviously they didn't, but this is just the example. Like there's no way you feel that Boise State, who it's the Mountain West. We don't have to mince words when we talk about these conferences. The overall issue still is that we're not playing the same level of football throughout the college football landscape, and there's gonna have to be a better way to put these teams in their proper place. The only way I can think of that works out properly is to see these teams 1 through 12 and disregard conference titles when we get down to determining who gets the bye week. That's my only problem, and that's the problem I think they're gonna have to fix moving forward.
Yeah, and go back to the BCS, the BCS ranking model that they used to do. You know, put like I hate hearing like same people said that data points stuff. Like it's irritating. It's irritating. Like no other school is having them. We have currently South Carolina has the longest winning streak going on right now in the SEC. I think we had at the time. I keep forgetting Vanderbilt was ranked. We beat them, so I think we have 4 ranked wins. So This is insane. Like, this is insane. The fact that was my gripe. I don't know if y'all follow me on X. I went on to Alabama fans podcast show or whatever, and I was cool with it until they started talking crazy about South Carolina. And I'm like, hold on, let's pump our brakes here. So I called into his show. I tried to plead my case to him. This guy here kept muting me down and stuff, but my thing is, I'm like, cool, y'all got us back in October, the beginning of the year. Let's talk about after that. This dude, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. Head to head, head to head, head to head. And my thing is, why the hell is this head to head like the Joker card all of a sudden when it comes to schools with a brand? Like, I guess the win streak's the ace, or what?
It look,
wins the dude.
Here's the thing, right? Like, even when you start talking about head to head, like, brother, your resume and what you've done doesn't align with the team that should be in the playoff. And this is why I was happy Alabama didn't make the cut. I was absolutely fine with Alabama not making the cut because I feel that if any of the 9-3 teams were going to make it, South Carolina to me had the best bid because of who they had beaten over the past 6 weeks. What they had done in the month of November did make up a lot of what would push a team toward the playoff. But when you look at Alabama and losing to Vanderbilt, it even if we think Vanderbilt's a better team than what they've been in years past, that's inexcusable. And then losing by 3 scores to Oklahoma, a team that we completely outclassed very quickly. And then even in the head-to-head, we lost by 2 points. The head-to-head, the only team that can talk about head-to-head to us will be Ole Miss. Ole Miss dominated that game. If Ole Miss talks to me about head-to-head, I have to concede that point. Nothing I can really say because you did dominate us on the road at that in the SEC environment, so that deserves credit. I would have more of a case for Ole Miss than I would have for Alabama. Alabama simply got the ranking in my mind that they got because of the brand. People still want to hold on to the lore of what Alabama was. Alabama, until proven otherwise, under Kalen DeBoer, we don't know what Alabama's going to look like. And so I don't think giving Alabama that boost of what they've been is what's good for the game. The committee also has they're gonna have to figure out what it is that they actually value because we saw the coaches get very upset in the SEC about what the committee talked about they valued. And I mean, when you talk about, okay, well, do you value the strength of schedule and the strength and who you played, and do you value the team that you've actually beaten? Or do you only value just winning outright? It doesn't matter who you play, as long as you win, you're in. And that's going to dictate how teams go about scheduling their out of conference games. Even though I will say for Alabama, South Carolina, and Ole Miss, well, yeah, and Ole Miss, none of us scheduled heavy out of conference competition this past season. So that wasn't really a real argument for me. It's more so about like your strength of schedule does say that going 9-3 in this conference and with this schedule is very different than going 10-2 in the Big 12 or going 9-3 in the ACC. It's very different and should be weighed differently when we talk about teams that should be eligible or should be vying for playoff spots.
Exactly, and like you said, that's why. Well, like I said earlier, that's why we need to bring back the BCS module grading. That's the only way they can get it right. Put us in. Look at that, and then the strength of schedule stuff as well. Like, I think we was ranked 15th, and then Bama was like 16th or something like that. And I'm like, the committee really needs to like lay down. Honestly, probably just get rid of the committee after this year because I feel like we know what they're looking at, and it's not consistent. It's just not consistent. They all over the place with it. Let's just get rid of the committee, bro. Like, I doubt it's gonna be soon. Probably gonna be the next few years and stuff. But at least we know, as South Carolina and Shane Beamer know, hey, damn, we got to be damn near perfect. Hey, even though we lost in the beginning of the year when hell a quarterback went 100% and things weren't in sync, don't matter. Hey, it don't matter. We went on a 6-game win streak, got about 4 ranked wins out of that win streak. It don't matter. Hey, it don't matter that We didn't have a quarterback second half of LSU. Injuries don't matter no more, when it comes to us. So we're asking South Carolina to play a damn near perfect game, have a damn near perfect season just for us to get a shot with this committee. That's the vibe I'm getting.
That this particular committee made it hard because they could have done it. They could have made it easier on themselves for sure. And just say outright what it is. Here's the thing: I won't vouch for South Carolina that much because at the end of the day, we know what happened. You had opportunities to finish games off. You could have won against LSU. You could have won against Alabama. You could have handled what you needed to handle in order to put yourself in that position, and things happen. You know what I'm saying? Playing with your food. We've been talking about it all year. It ended up rearing its ugly head at the end of the season. And rightfully so. Here's the thing: I'm not vouching for any 9-3 team to truthfully get in. If you're asking me, like I think at 9-3, you're asking a lot of everybody to consider you to be a playoff team, and that's why I was okay with Bama not getting in. I appreciate it. And I know people will say, "Well, this is kind of contradictory." I did appreciate SMU getting the nod only because do you at least value going to the conference championship game? Because you had to value something, and this is where the committee was in such flux. And I wanted to see what decision they make. I was gonna be okay either way because I knew the committee had kind of showed their hand and they misplayed this entire thing. But I wanted to see what they were gonna do when it came out of SMU, and they allowed SMU to get in. So good. You don't villainize teams for losing a conference championship. Cool. You do need to figure out what it is that you value on a weekly basis. Meaning that when the season starts, we need the committee to come out to the forefront, tell us what it is that you value, so we're not left to wonder and mull it over amongst ourselves. It shouldn't take the waiting until halfway through the year before we even get a ranking. No, come out from day one and tell us what it is and what it ain't, so we can all be at peace. Because you know what? If you would have told us that win games, win out, and that's going to be the easiest way for you to solidify your spot in the playoff, then cool. I don't think anybody has a problem. I think the problem is when you all of this office talk. It's all office talk. This how they talk in that committee room, the war manual. This is how people talk to you in the office when they really want to tell you, but we just don't think you qualify. Or we're just not gonna let you win. We have our reasoning, and we're just not letting you have a seat at the table.
The data points.
So the data points. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those things, man. And I'm not overly upset. I'm gonna be upset with the quality games that we get this first weekend though, because I don't know if I'm looking at the greatest of quality games when we talk about. Well, obviously Tennessee, Ohio State is gonna be a good one. I'm gonna hate watch that one, of course, for obvious reason. Texas versus Clemson that's gonna be a sleeper. This could possibly be one of the best games that we get from the opening weekend. Notre Dame in Indiana.
They might get both. I mean, Notre Dame might boat race them. Notre Dame might boat race them. We'll see. We'll see how locked in they'll be. And then what's the last one?
Penn State, SMU. I don't really have any.
I say shootout on that one.
You said shootout. I don't know. I don't know if I see SMU hanging around. I mean, they may do what they did against Clemson and pull back in late, something like that. Like they could do something like that, but I don't know. I just don't see you're gonna really start to see the difference between. I think this playoff right here is gonna show the difference between the SEC and the Big Ten and everybody else. That's what this playoff is gonna really show. That it's gonna come down to an SEC Big Ten national title game. Just to let everybody know, you pick your poison about who you think is gonna be, but
probably
I have my pick already.
Georgia versus Oregon. Come on.
You said it. Georgia was my preseason pick. To be fair, Georgia was my preseason pick. They took the long way of getting here. I didn't think they would have to do what they did to have to get here. But kudos to them because they got through a gauntlet of a schedule. So to come out that on the other side, I can't. Carson Beck is
Kind of
hurt.
hurt in the conference. Yeah, I mean Gunnar Stockton though, former South Carolina commit.
He's could have been
He
one of
kind of
us.
hooped though. Gunnar Stockton kind of hooped as well. So I mean, he might be the hero. I mean, depending on how severe Carson Beck injury is, he might have to be the hero at Athens and take Georgia to the promised land. I think they got a good path. Wait, hold on. Let's review Georgia's path. What they got?
So you get the winner out of Notre Dame, Indiana. I don't think my biggest thing here. I don't think it's gonna take a lot of points to beat either of these teams. Like I don't think it's gonna take a lot of points to beat Indiana. I don't think it's gonna take a lot of points to beat Notre Dame. I simply 3 touchdowns. Give me 3 touchdowns and give me that defense. We got to figure it out. How you get the 3 touchdowns? I don't know. Your athletes gonna have to be athletes on that day. Like Gunnar Stockton as a passer, which I didn't see that offense really necessarily drop off. Like that offense was struggling even with Carson Beck on the field anyway. Gunnar Stockton provided a different element. He provides more of a rushing element to that offense that they don't have under Carson Beck. So you can see we're gonna get a new look Georgia offense by the time we see them again.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I'm looking at this bracket, man. Georgia really got a minus Texas and Clemson, whatever. They really got an easy path to get to the Natty. So give me Oregon versus Georgia in the national championship, and give me Georgia winning because you know why? It's in Atlanta.
Oh hell. But that's gonna be geeked up, turned up, piped up, all time. But it's gonna be all types of up in that building. Goodness gracious, I may go today that weekend, bro. I don't know. I may have to make a little trip, bro.
It's gonna be you ever drive through 85? You ever drive through 85 on a good hour? You know what damn Atlanta gonna smell like. We ain't talking about the grass that's outside. We're talking about the other grass.